Ukraine. This is the second episode of Sunflowers Freedom Podcast, a podcast about Ukraine, its culture, traditions, a good side of Ukraine, the beautiful people of Ukraine, Ukraine as a country, and the war. My name is Sandra Grace, and let's go. A quick reminder before we go right into the episode, you can listen to the podcast on a go on Spotify. The link is going to be available in the description box below. This episode is about the first day of the massive invasion, 24th of February 2022. I decided to dedicate a whole video and a whole episode for it because, to be honest, I don't even remember a lot of things that happened. Everything is kind of like in a blue right now for me. It's been almost 2 years, but I try to go back in my mind and remember things that I've been experiencing, as well as a lot of things that people that I personally know have experienced as well. A quick side story, before the 24th of February 2022, we had a lot of conversations, and it was a little bit like suspicious because people were talking about the war. A lot of people who are into politics. I had a friend who was into politics, and he told me about probably Russia is going to invade, and it's probably going to happen in 2022. Personally, I never believed it. I don't think a lot of people actually did. But at that point of time, it was very like everybody would just laugh it off and be like, well, I mean, it's 21st century, it's not gonna happen, right? So on 23rd of February, it was a very common day. It was like a holiday season, winter's magical time. So I was also thinking about going to work to United States. I was looking for a job. I had some interviews scheduled. Actually, I had one of the interviews scheduled to 24th of February. The company from US set that time for me, and obviously it never happened because it wasn't even imported anymore. But on the 23rd of February, we watched the video of Putin saying that there has to be a special military operation made for Ukraine. He has to save us, blah 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 blah. They were moving their equipment and military closer to Ukrainians' borders prior to that. We knew that already, it was in the news, but nobody thought he would actually invade. We all thought that that was just a great picture for us to get threatened, and yeah, I mean, at that point of time, we knew that Russia's crazy, the government is sick, but we also knew that because we had Donbass situation going on for a very long time, since 2014, but a massive invasion, it was a very, unbelievable thing. So even though I watched his speech on how he has to perform this military operation, I refused to believe that. So I went to bed peacefully on the 23rd. It was a beautiful evening prior to 24th. And then I woke up at 5 a.m. I heard 3 explosions. It was very loud. And I remember I immediately jumped out of bed. They were all in a row, so the sound of explosions 3 times in a row, and it was very terrifying. I was sleeping, so I didn't even understand what was it. I live very close to the railway station, so I thought maybe something's going on with the trains. And I woke up, I started screaming what is happening, and my family told me the war has started. It was super cold. I remember I was in my PJs. I literally dressed so quickly. I don't think I ever dressed that quickly in my life. We ran outside. I live in a house, so we ran outside to the backyard. I had my phone in my hands. I remember, everything is just blurry and messy at this point of time, but I remember I started checking the news. I texted my cousins because we have a group chat. If everybody's awake, everybody started yeah, we heard that too, what is going on? So I looked up on Google that at 5:30, probably it was around that time when I actually, started checking the news. The President of Ukraine declared martial law to the whole country, and everybody was like, what the heck is this? What does this mean? And then again, the whole internet, like Ukrainian news, it was all with the information how Russia's, basically everything was filled with articles about how they had a lot of breakthroughs through the territories and different cities. First killings, the first civilian death, the first destroyed buildings, bridges, roads and everything, how people were trying to stop tanks just by staying in front of them. You know, it's absurd, it's bizarre at the 21st century. We all were very confused. We did not know what's going on. We did not know what's gonna happen after. Obviously my interview got cancelled. I don't think I even remembered about the interview. I was just so scared. The air raids, obviously a lot of the systems that deliver the air raid outside were not working because nobody thought they would ever be needed anymore. So in my area, our government, like the town government, they had to quickly fix that issue because everybody had to hear the air raids. And then we were outside. I remember everybody was just looking at each other, calling different people. I received a call from my friend from Russia. He was somebody that I knew since 2014. We met in the US while I was there, and we got a really great friendship going on for years. He never said anything bad about Ukraine in general. We had a conversation. He got really scared for me. He didn't know if I was safe or what was happening. So we had like a very short talk, and then the air raid started. So like, you know, you're supposed to hide, but like, where the heck are you gonna hide? You can't hide in your house. It's not safe. The first few days were so scary. I only now realize the effect that I have on my physical health and my mental health from what happened in the beginning, because I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life. We were sleeping in this separate building from the house for a week, I guess. We were sleeping in our clothes on the floor with tons of blankets and pillows. We had our cat there, and a box that was settled down for her in case we had to run somewhere. We had everything packed in our small suitcases, backpacks, just in case we would have to leave very fast. I was very scared to sleep during nights. For probably 2 months I wasn't sleeping at night. I was sleeping during the day when my family was awake, and then when they were sleeping I was kind of guarding them because nights were so scary for me. We had a curfew hour, obviously, so like we couldn't leave the house after 6, I think. I don't really remember, to be honest, but or 9 or 10. Honestly, like right now we have a curfew hour starting from the midnight, but we used to have like one at 9 p.m. and then 10, 11, and now it's moved to midnight. But I don't remember what was the first time of a curfew hour set. But again, the lights were out everywhere, so the whole city was like on a blackout when it would turn to the evening time. Couldn't even have the lights on in the house. So like if you have the window without curtains, you can't have the lights on during evenings because it's see-through. So everything had to be basically covered. I had panic attacks. I've never had panic attacks in my life before, but I started having them when the war started. Like I got so scared I couldn't even describe what I felt. I had a friend who was stuck in one of the cities on the east. He couldn't get out. He was a driver. He worked as a driver back then, and at the time when everything happened he was almost like really close to the border of Russia, so he couldn't even leave. Like everything was full of traffic. Russians actually were coming through, so nobody knew what is the safe road anymore. Nobody knew which road you can take, which city you can go to. A week through, from 24th of February, we had a gathering where we had to do a lot of Molotov cocktails. I volunteered. I knew it's a bad idea for me because I was away from the house during the day. I spent like 3-4 hours making Molotov cocktails, but I was just feeling more safe at home, and then I had to leave the house. I was even scared to go to the store. Like everything was so messed up, and obviously now I'm used to it, everybody's used to it, which is also not a good thing, but like now you don't even care for the air raid no more, which is a very bad thing. No matter where you are in Ukraine, it's never safe when the air raid's on. You don't know what's gonna happen to you, you can't predict it, and if you neglect your safety, you know, you can pay the price. We lived in a complete fear. Again, we have Belarusia, and Russian troops were also there. Then Belarus's president put their military close to our border, and we were all pretty sure that they both are gonna come at the same time. It's nothing to get to where I am from Belarusia. So yeah, we were expecting them as well. Seeing the news how Russians murdered civilians, how they raped women, raped kids, how they tortured women, men, like just civilians, and how and all those pictures. I mean, seeing all of that made me realize that if they show up here, we're dead. Yeah, there were moments when we had no service. Again, people were buying everything you could possibly buy from the stores. I've never seen so many lines at every store possible. Everything you could possibly get, they would buy everything. Nobody knew if we would even have food, if we would even be able to produce anything in Ukraine, and if Europe would ever like import something to Ukraine anymore. Again, the volunteer centers had to open up for people who would move from the east to the west, looking for all of the possible ways where you could put people in like a temporary housing so they at least have a bed. With all of that being said, I want to say that my experience is what I've been sharing with you today, and of course I'm not saying that my experience is the worst of them all, because it's obviously not. In fact, I think that every Ukrainian had to meet the February 24th very differently, but we all shared the same emotions. We all shared the confusion, anger, we all shared the fear, we all were scared for our loved ones, for ourselves, for the lives of everybody in the country. We were all traumatized reading the news, and we all have the same effect right now on our mental and physical health. As you know, right now I think it's been almost 2 years, but my brain and my body has only now reached the point where it actually realizes what the hell happened to me in the beginning and why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now. Because at the beginning I thought I was like unbreakable and it wasn't that much of a stress. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the audio if you're listening on Spotify. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. If you guys liked the video, and yeah, I hope I, you know, made some things kind of clearer for anyone who was wondering what was happening on the emotional side of it. Never shared my story with anyone. I actually thought that I don't ever want to talk about it, and I felt like I don't want to remember it, but I had to recall it all over again in order to share it with you, and now I remember things perfectly and vividly. Thank you, and thank you for supporting Ukraine. Thank you for supporting me. If you'd like to see more of my content, you can check out my poetry books, my music, and my TikTok in the links below in the description box. Please leave this video a comment, put a thumbs up, and that's gonna help me to boost the video on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, please leave a review because I read them all, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, because I'm gonna be posting once in 2 weeks for the episodes. I don't want to pressure myself. So we're gonna see each other again somewhere around Christmas time. We're gonna be talking about Christmas, Ukrainian traditions for New Year and Christmas celebration, kind of moving and stepping aside from the war and bringing some magical traditions and history of, you know, celebrating Christmas and just the magical December season time. I don't feel like celebrating anything, to be honest, but I hope you are having a great December. I hope you have tons of snow, because we do have a lot of snow. That makes me a little happy but unhappy at the same time, thinking about our soldiers at the front lines. Snow isn't a good thing. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and yeah, with that being said, with love from Ukraine. Till next time.